This is Digital Audio 1 with Kevin Bressler. This demonstration is on the edit modes of ProTools. We'll find the edit modes in the upper left-hand corner of the ProTools screen, and you should always consider which edit mode you are in. So the main and most popular edit mode is the slip mode. Slip mode allows you to freely move a region around and drop it anywhere on the timeline like so. If we are, that's when we're using the grabber tool or the smart tool. If we're using the region select tool, we can place our cursor any place we want in the waveform, and it allows us to do so. Slip is used most common in editing, for getting in between waveforms, for being able to place things very precisely in time. Now, if we had taken this region and just split it in a few areas, and I'm going to color code these regions just so that you can see what's happening here a little bit clearer. All right, so you can see that we have three different clips, and I'm going to go into shuffle mode. Shuffle mode is not used as often. It can be good if you're going through a voice recording and you're taking out big sections that are not to be used. The thing about shuffle is when you make a selection and you delete it, that amount of time goes away and it gets sucked away. So any regions that happen immediately after that get sucked forward in time. You can understand why this would be dangerous in a move or a session, I'm sorry, where you have time-sensitive material like a voiceover music that is supposed to be in a particular location. Shuffle can get used though if you're trying to play around and move regions and play around with different order. It's like shuffling cards, and you can see that when I make a selection, I can only move it to the next region boundary. I can't even slide it off into the open area anymore. If I wanted to, I'd have to go back into slip mode, move it. Then I could go into shuffle. Shuffle can be good though if you had two regions that you wanted to bud right up next to each other. So we're in shuffle mode, and that's what it wants to do. So shuffle, not as common as slip. There's some nice options in there. I should have mentioned about slip too, that when I make a selection and I delete it, you'll notice that those regions stay in place, unlike shuffle mode. Spot mode can be quite handy if you're trying to get a particular region to a very exact moment in time. I'm going to adjust the start time of this. So when you click in spot mode on a region, it's going to ask you a few different things, but where do you want to place that in time? And let's say that we wanted this to go out to 1 minute and 30 seconds exactly. And we can be much preciser than that as well. Then we can hit OK, and it moves that to that location. So, and you might have noticed when the spot dialog came up that it does ask you your time scale. Whatever you left it on the last time, that's generally what comes up. So maybe I'll move this second region to 105 just for fun. I can type in the number, I can use the right arrow to advance, and we're going to 05, and there it went. Grid edit mode is used if you want to have, if you want to make a selection in an increment of time. It's going to be related always to the grid mode that you see right here. On grid mode, you can choose the time scale amongst a very cool option that I might show you later. And then you can choose how, what increment of time you want to select. So let's say we wanted to make a 1 second increment in time. And I'm going to use the region select tool, and if you watch the length up here as I expand, it's choosing whole seconds. So if you wanted to make a selection that was exactly a minute or 10 seconds long, it'd be quite easy to do in this. If I zoom in here a little bit, you can see the blue lines that represent that. It's a little tough to remember, but if you follow the timescale all the way to the left, you can see that I could show or hide those grids if they're not showing up on your system. All right, grid mode, but you can use all the different time scales and make different increments. Grid mode gets used a lot in music production, and when you have the grid as a term it, synced to the tempo of the song, bars, beats, and ticks. That's for more advanced music production applications. So that takes us through all of the cursor modes. Let's see here. So one nice thing that you can do, if you can locate the tilde key, which on most keyboards is right below escape or to the left of the number 1, if you hit that, you can see that the edit modes will shift around. Depending on how you have the function keys set up on your keyboard, if you hit F1, that generally, and going towards F4, takes us around the different edit modes too. It saves you from having to jump back and forth and click and back to the timeline and so on. Those are the edit modes of Pro Tools in a nutshell.